Hi, everybody. Just a couple of things before we start. Number one, I will not be here next Thursday, so just to alert Joelle and everybody. But hopefully, I will be here the next Thursday after that. And there was a couple other things. Number one, we're getting really short on questions again, and would appreciate it very much if people would send in a few so that we can continue on. I don't like making up a question because that comes from me, not coming from you. And then one other reminder about October 25th. If you read about the first 100, I think it's 102 or 103 pages of the book, then maybe if you have any questions, we can talk about them together. It'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Eastern?
Eastern time, yes. So that we can catch the UK and anyone else. And it makes it a little bit difficult for people in Vancouver, but it looks like that was the best time, so apologize about that. Now, there is a question that someone sent in. I think it was Marlene that sent it in, but I'm not sure. She's wondering whether she did. She'll have to hear the question first. And I may be wrong in this. There's no name on it. So, does the soul require healing, or is it the defensive personality's manifestation which requires healing?
No, that's not me.
Marlene says it's not her. That being said, can and does the soul change in such a manner as to strike a more reverent outlook through the ego personality towards life based on greater realizations of inner changes manifesting? It's a mouthful. Lastly, what, in your view, is the catalyst for these changes, either from ourselves or from a form of beingness which much greater than ourselves? Let's try the first part.
I think it's Brahman.
Not sure it is, actually. Bronwyn had a different question.
Okay.
So, this whole idea of the soul, maybe we can talk a little bit, just a speck around that, and maybe then try and do something with the questions. Oh, gosh. If you look this up, you find that there are many definitions of soul. If you are around different organizations, they'll have a different view about what the soul is. And that view usually relates to the soul being a kind of pure something, pure energy, certainly in the West anyway.
It's Michael Brawley.
Michael Brawley. Thanks, Michael. When you're looking at this in the Western, many of the Western views are usually basically Christian in background. And even in the Christian rendering of what a soul might be, it's not as clear, but it comes from the old Greek background, where the soul is seen as something separate from the personality, and that separation is considered to be something superior to the personality. Giving a little rendering there of you being a form separate from the soul. And when we're engaging in the world, that separation is kind of considered quite strong. The separation is strong. That's not the only version of the Western background. Some believe that the soul engages with us but keeps itself separate from us because we don't have a rendering of purity enough that would allow the soul to engage with us. So we're treating the soul as if it's another personality kind of thing, where we personalize things, which is natural for us, by the way. It's not a negative thing. So that it gives us a kind of rendering of feeling content with a persona or personalization that is more valuable than we are. That puts us in the hole, really. In other words, we're bad, it's really good. Oh, we're not that bad, but we're okay, but we're not doing very well, but it's really good. I think this is based on, from my point of view, is based on the kind of thing that we do with everything. We're tremendous markers of things. If someone has a different idea than you, then you mark them as lesser than you. You assess them, you judge them. You may not call it judgment, you just may call them wrong. So, but that's a rendering of the same thing. If we could possibly look at this slightly different, I think I can't remember the book that was written after the death of Christ about the soul. Gosh. But it's a well-known book, and it's just slipped my mind. But it's a story told about how an individual was attempting to do its very, very best in life. And at one particular moment, in that, he's very heartbroken because he knows he's been seeing that he can't do better in life. And so the soul, at the individual's lowest ebb, breaks through because of the vulnerability that that person knows, that feels, breaks through and speaks to the individual. And there begins a dialogue between the soul and the individual who's attempting to grow. Not a dialogue coming out of the unconscious in this story line, but a dialogue coming from another state. Trying to help that individual to realize that he wasn't a bad person. But there's an attempt inside of that individual and others, one could see, that where the individual, when it's having a good day, has no room for anything other than what it believes might be true, and therefore it shores him up, makes him feel superior to other people. And this was a style or a rendering that allowed many other backgrounds, including Christianity, to consider the personification of the soul. It was a rendering of the ability of an individual to engage with a higher state, not when they're perfect, but when they're vulnerable to the stage where they feel that their own self-importance wasn't the only thing in the universe. This is kind of general way of engaging with that particular story. Before we meditate, I'll go up and see if I can find that book. And I have mentioned it before, but it was Hermes. So when you're dealing with this kind of an idea, these concepts have been developing over a long period of time. The one that comes to mind for me is an inner kind of a thing. Trying to help myself to understand this preface, but not negating anything, but looking at it from a different perspective. Looking at it from the perspective, which I'm sure others have considered as well, that the soul is kind of like the personality in a kind of a way, weird way. It's like an envelope. And here we have this form that lies within this larger envelope. I'm not sure I'm going to be too clear with this, so I apologize in advance. So, the soul and the personality are connected with a thing called love. The individual uses this love. And by the way, love comes into and through a form, an energy form, that is already linked with us so that we can engage as a human being. Before you hang up, just give me a little space. And so this level of loving may have different other states attached to it. We really don't know. There's a lot of supposition out there about this. But I think that the personality itself feeds off of this energy, almost like a step-down transformer from my point of view, that comes into us, and at a very early start, we begin to unconsciously respond to it. You could say maybe in the last trimester, who knows? No one knows for sure. There's all kinds of concepts out there. And everybody thinks that everybody else's is wrong and theirs is right. You've got to remember this, please. It doesn't make it true. It makes it just another theory. So we begin to move towards a state, first of all, where we need to construct a system, a personality system. Physical body has to function on these planes. Emotions have to function on these planes. This is us on these planes, out of the womb. So-called mental facility has to function on these planes. Constructs what we call a thing, energy thing we call personality. Our focus is on the physical form, regardless of anything. So therefore, Our personality becomes physical. It's what we use to engage with somebody else, also with ourselves. So, I propose that this energy coming into us is meant to come into us so that we can begin to create a system to survive and engage, not only survive, but engage with others through this system and these levels. And even though they're not that separate, they're linked to each other. And here we are engaging with this. And we allow this to be called, by definition, a personality. Well, we define everything so. I mean, you could call it something else if you wanted to, but a self or an ego. People are happy about that, except they're unhappy because ego has a bad definition. And the ego is, from some point of view, a personality acts as if their way of acting is more important than other people's way of acting, as defined by people who are listening to this person, who have no idea what's inside that individual and have no clue except that they respond to that other person to make themselves feel as if they're right. So this is a constructed system. Both systems are constructed. Still talking about the soul. Energy has come in and you utilize it like a number of shields, in the old, sword and a shield and shields against how the world touches you and what you should do and to protect those ways of acting that you call you. You do that with an energy that might be considered coming into you, related to loving. You love the way you think you should think. That's what you do. That's what we all do. This is the nature of what we do. We call that love, life force. We call it a whole bunch of things that suit our cultural background, our sociological entanglement with a view that relates to, could be religion, could be philosophy, could be this, could be that. It doesn't matter what it does. You're still doing that because you're entangled with this point of view. Entanglement is normal in our world. We're engaged with it. There is a level, from my perspective, there is a level of expression, life expression, energy itself, that we believe is available to every single person who exists. They use it through practice, through patterning, through habit, through copying of others, or copying of a definition that they believe has to be true to be spiritual, or to be material, or to do really well in life, or to do this, do that, whatever it is. Depends where you live. And here you are, using that love to create something and protect something that you believe must be true because you believe it. Thus, there are many definitions. For me, it seems that there is a kind of, I'll call it purity of loving. deep compassion, deep overall giving of that love or that flow to anyone and everyone who makes it out of the womb. No exceptions. After that, we start constructing systems that tell us completely and truly what must be true based on our look at whatever we're looking at. This makes us kind of vulnerable, but just a minute here. It's possible that we're attempting to engage in something that we do not understand well. I'll put forward the idea of the soul being also a monitor, not relative good, bad, right, wrong. That's how we see God, or this universal way of seeing that if you do something wrong, you're really bad. If you do something right, depending on your culture, then you're good. And you get affected by that. But since this is an energy engagement, here's an idea. And take a look at your traditional spiritual heroes. They tend to engage with the concept of movement from this stage to another stage, and in that there are other stages beyond that, and they begin to believe and experience a link with those other stages. Okay, all right, now got to fit that into the soul. If an individual creates a form that we call personalities, a number of personas may exist, a number of ways of seeing how you should act under different circumstances, personas, may exist. It is logical, in our logic, to consider that those things should be like this and like that. But we don't know. It's our consideration. It's our level of logic that we use. It's just honest. It's okay. Then, if you consider a being of consciousness, you fill in that blank. It'll be based on your belief system, whatever that may be. And that being acts in a way that relates to a different use of the energy that is coming into them to give them not only life, but defending the way they have created what they believe must be the right way to be. This has to be very frustrating for us in our definitions. Because why should that person be really, really able and that person be really, really able according to our definitions, and these two ways of acting are different? Okay, just a minute. Maybe it has to do with being able to handle certain frequencies that are not defined by us very well, so that, and not interfered by us as they operate in and through us for the benefit of others. That was very clear in the Christian background relating to, one could say, relating to healing. Well, there is healing in the Buddhist background and the Hindu background and the Taoist background, and there have been occurrences that have healing. Yeah, but just a minute. It can only be a certain way. We have no idea, if you're really honest. But you have certain beliefs where you assert that this must be true because this is what is considered to be true, and therefore it must be maintained as truth. The soul itself, at a higher level, would know more about it than we do. When it operates in and through us as an act of loving to help us to grow, we even interpret that as engorging our personalities the way they are, a little bit better maybe, but making us more important because that would make us superior somehow. That doesn't make sense. It makes sense if you're looking at things in a material fashion, because everything we do is, so-and-so doesn't do that very well. So-and-so does that really, really well. Oh, I don't like the way they talk because it's more like this. I don't like the way they say things or see things or whatever. This does not mean there's a right and wrong thing going on, but we act as if there is. I don't believe the soul does that if it engages with every individual in existence to give them that flow of life so that they can begin their journey on these planes for purposes that relate to them initially, and then ultimately in a deeper fusion with the higher state. They do not engorge their personality as the best and the right. They learn how to pull back and not interfere with energy that has been coming in to them since birth and before, maybe a little bit at least, so that others can be helped to begin to grow. You don't have to buy the elixir, because if you have an idea of the many definitions of what a soul might be defined as, then you will render your thinking and your decision-making about what must be right, what must be wrong, based on your sociological background, your culture. You will do that because you want to be included. It's an inclusive thing. And therefore you want to be elevated into thinking yourself more valuable than others. It's the way it works for us here. It's not negative. It's what we do. And we'll continue to do this because that's the level that we are on. Until somehow the link gets stronger in us because we have begun to shift our relationship from ourselves, loving ourselves, towards loving something beyond ourselves. And that leaves a small crack in our persona protections, so that we can begin to understand a little beyond what we do now. This is really hard for us. And I do not believe that we're considered bad or negative, because it is hard for us. I know in the ancient times they worried tremendous amount. I worry about it too. But small worry versus bigger worries. Many sages worried because they were afraid that folks that were idolizing themselves would learn about a reality that was in existence and then try to tell other people that they had that reality within them. Meaning, one could use this concept of soul for that, where the soul is really there and engaging in you for a purpose of helping others. They knew that people had to grow from and through their own backgrounds. And this was very difficult for us, because our backgrounds constantly need support, or we would be too vulnerable and feel awkward and not worthy somehow. You can understand why. It makes perfect sense. We lean on things to create values for ourselves when we, in a kind of a way, have nothing to make us feel valuable. So things become ideas. No negation in that. That's what we do. Everyone does the same thing. Every sociological background is embroiled in this particular version of engaging with life, from politics through to the most minor thing. It doesn't devalue the individual, but individuals utilize and value certain things in certain ways of thinking for a purpose that is legitimately there to help them to feel more secure, so they can go on, move through it, loosen it up a little bit, and reach out and become aware of a flow of energy that is there. So it starts with becoming aware of the magnetic area around your body. It starts there. It's like a new birth, a new beginning. That energy is part of the soul's engagement with you. So let's use that. So if you use that pretty strongly, when you're a kid, you start to get used to using it, and using it for different purposes. Like many people play hockey, or in Canada, or baseball, or checkers, or chess, cards. How do I engage with that person? I like that person, so I'd like to engage with them better. You're learning about life. You're creating a mechanism. And there's many ways to do that. Those ways move out and spread in your life. And once you've done them so many times, they become a pattern. And you believe that that's the way you should be. Just one method. At some point, you make choices about what you focus on and what you don't. You learn through your mistakes. Yes, mistakes. You also learn through watching others. You also learn by learning how to watch yourself. That latter one leads towards an engagement with something beyond the personalized defensive system, natural, normal stuff, and how you think you need to be of value to others and to yourself. Because if you value others, therefore, the more people that you value, the more important you are, or the more you're valuable. Not necessarily, but it's what we think. Then maybe ultimately, if you're very fortunate, you meet an individual that you can perceive in a loving manner that really loves. And it makes you uncomfortable like crazy because it's a different level of loving. So you, all of a sudden, knee-jerk-wise almost, you're protecting yourself. Your ideals, your ideas, your this, your that, doesn't matter. Your soul is affected by that. And change slowly begins to occur. Well, the shifting and changing of patterns and ideas, that's slower. Why should you bother? This is normal stuff I'm talking about. Not this versus that. At these levels of engagement, it is my understanding. I have to see if that might fit. That a number of different energies come in to us. And whether we have experienced those before or not, if we haven't, they're kind of raw. Meaning early going stuff. Like act a bit like children. And what children do in the playground with other children. Sometimes they're very kind, sometimes they're just not at all. Sometimes they just want to be more important than everybody else in the park. Some, if they become more, they're elevated and they feel quite ingratiated by that. And others don't do that. And they have different responses. It's just shifts in that same energy. And there are some who believe there's about 7 energies, some who believe there's 10, some believe there's 12 and 13. We don't know. But it doesn't stop our belief systems from being there to help us move into an understanding that makes some sense to us. And then perhaps, even later, somewhere along the line, we move into another one. There's a really, really interesting thing that happens where you begin to realize that if it is true that different frequencies start off in the lower aspects of themselves and get to the point where we can handle them a little bit better, then energy can operate through us differently then what our personality dictates that it should be that way because that's the only right. That has an effect on that aspect of her personality. It is said or considered to be a little bit of maturity. I can only go by the idea a little bit means a lot. The concept of a little bit makes better sense as opposed to moving and having an adjustment in the personality and then you're all grown up. Because on these levels, being all grown up doesn't work that well. You figure that one out on your own. Opening up to an abundance of understanding about a variance in ideologies, being okay in the world, that is kind of against the status quo. It's against our personalities' dictum, the way we decide things. And when we do these methods, we express these methods of decision making, and all of us do to some degree. A smile is not the first thing that we're involved with. It's more, you're right, a defense of what you say. This is a natural tendency for us. And there are all kinds of ways of engaging with the world. The many frequencies that may or may not exist within our movement towards becoming able to be completely out of the way as a higher state or soul, or some words beyond that may operate through us. Those frequencies have to be able to handle these levels of engagement. Love, will, so-called intelligence, logic, a broad way of looking at the world as if it's all energy, period. That's hard for us. We quickly fall back into this versus that, and that is more real than this, and this has to be this way. And I can understand why that would be. Each of us does that in our own way. So the soul knows this. If it is pure in relationship to this idea, others would say, but Ron, there is no such thing as the soul. It is you learning about this. You trying to make sense of it. You knowing the difference by awareness that a flow is operating in you and through you, and you're not trying to interfere with it. You're trying to see it for what it is. We're not quite ready for that. But we can attempt to perceive or understand that that might be viable if we begin to perceive energy. And the first level is our own personality's engagement with that level of consciousness or level of energy operating in us, because that's all we can handle. Or that's what we think it should be like, so that will be in sync with our belief. We have a lot to learn, and we love to define things. We will redefine and define and continue to do so. We'll reassert, we'll engage. This has to be this way because blah, 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 blah. Attempt to become a seer of you, understanding that you're still growing and you're looking at this way or that way to assert a belief system which everyone must believe in. It's the nature of these planes. The energy itself, as it softens in a most loving manner, becomes almost quiet. It affects the personality to the point where it doesn't have an interest in reacting. It has a more curiosity, still a personality if it has those things, to see and attempt to understand in increments of movement within the mind, within the heart, and within the whole system that is occurring currently, that you're living in. It's another envelope. You live in this physical form. Some people believe that's part of the soul. You live in an emotional, relative consistency according to you. However that is, that's part of the soul, and where you can handle that level. If you were suddenly increased in emotion, it would be tremendously difficult for you to handle. Increased energy, you would be tight like crazy, having a difficult time. Increased mind, lots of stuff at this level in the logical area would be there all the time. It would be bombastic. It would be just power flowing through until you shift into another level where that quietens down. And now that another level of soul can operate into that area for a purpose that relates to it, not us. That might be considered by some a level of soul's purity, operating into a system that is engaging with inner development, but not inner development related to the importance of the personality, but relative to the importance of that flow operating through for a purpose of helping others. Hard for us to make sense of that. But nonetheless, perhaps a worthy adventure. Then others would say, well, no, it gets to the point where bells ring and the world sees you as some great potentate and you are pointed out and everyone follows you and all the rest. I don't see it that way personally, but that is ingrained in us as involved with higher states. Really, basically, it's the personality that is elevated. And in fact, that isn't as spiritual as what many believe it is. But we continue to be that way because of the level of engagement that we have with these planes. And that in itself is a difficult area of development for us. And many have said that. It's not something that's extra special with those words. Many have said that. And it makes perfect sense. Because we are learners. Don't be afraid to learn beyond what you already think has to be true because you are the one that makes it that way, or others for that matter. Remember, some of the very able beings on this planet were not considered. They were considered more a threat to the status quo. It takes a lot of courage to engage beyond a version that makes your personality more important than others. It takes a tremendous amount. And even then, you grow through you. So there's it's not necessarily an engagement with negativity. It's an engagement with usefulness. And we all have a piece of that in us. There's no doubt about that one, from my perspective. I just want to emphasize, that's going to be enough. We're going to meditate now, but emphasize as well that more questions. It's a real hard question, but it's really important from my point of view. Obviously from Michael's as well. Appreciate all the questions you can send in my direction. Hopefully, we will get a few more. Have a good evening, everybody. And if you're going to meditate, we're about to do that right now.
Jumbo Pala Umasutam Shokavinashakaranam Namami Vigneshvara Pada Pankajam Namami Vigneshvara Pada Pankajam Mushika Vahana Modaka Hasta Chamarakarna Vilambita Sutra Vamana Rupa Maheshvara Putra Maheshvara Putra Vighna Vinayaka Pada Namaste Ma Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Durga Devi Shankari Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Uma Parvati Shive Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Ma Bhavani Ambike Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Annapurna Lakshmi Ma Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Kamala Katyayani Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi Tvam Bhargavi Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha Amba Lalita Devi Parabhakti Varade Namaste Sarvamangalamangalaye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Devi Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Shanti Shanti स्वरूपाये नमो नमः वज्रमानित्यकटककिरीटाये नमो नमः वज्रमानित्यकटककिरीटाये ॐ चक्रराजमहायत्रषट्वर्गवत्सलाये नमो नमः वन्दे भवत्रषट्वर्गवत्सलाये नमो नमः चक्रराजमहायत्रमध्यवर्तिन्ये नमो नमः चक्रराजमहायत्रमध्यवर्तिन्ये Shrimad Sharana
And now we'll just do the balancing and grounding. And I hope everybody has a good evening. For those of you in Ottawa, the Singing Pebbles still has a few more books, and have a good evening.